Good morning and welcome back to the second day of classes. I missed posting yesterday. My apologies. So, let's catch you up. What's exciting? This book here, Westlandia. So, I love this book because it's a wild and crazy idea that some kid who really has trouble fitting in but is excited about school, loves school. So, he decides to use his knowledge from school for a great summer project that will bring him happiness and entertain him. So he decides to make a garden, but he wasn't going to plant it because he had learned in school that seeds travel a long distance on the wind. So he said, I wonder what would get planted in my garden if all I did was turn over the earth. And could I use whatever grows there to make my own civilization? Because he learned that civilizations depend on a staple crop. So we even discussed what a staple crop was. The kids got it right away. Potatoes, rice, corn, wheat, great examples of staple crops. So his staple crop turned out to be giant red flowering plants called swist. He named them swist because of the noise they make in the wind. I thought that's a great idea. And then we decided to, after reading the book, say, well, what were all the things he invented as a result of this plant? What were all the things that happened? So behind me, let's get a little closer here. He listed all these things that he was able to make. He was able to make clothing. He was able to make a mosquito repellent slash sunscreen, which you should never combine those two. But this plant naturally has that power magically, so cool. In fact, he ended up selling that to some of his former bullies, and they became his customers. Then, as he started inventing games and building things and structures and sports equipment out of Swist, they became his friends. And I thought, that's really cool. He slept out under the stars at night in a tree house or a Swist house, a platform bed, and a homemade kind of hammock that he'd sleep out under the stars, playing a flute that he made out of, you guessed it, Swist. So we decided to, I thought this would be a really good kind of provocation to get the kids thinking about, what sparks their imagination. And what they thought of was they really liked the idea of building forts. Now, 3 years ago, we had a really bad storm. And it brought down a lot of trees and branches. And I have workbenches and saws, so we used those. And I couldn't provide enough hammers and nails, nor did I want to, for kids all the way around the perimeter of our upper field, because I want to closely supervise kids using tools. So I gave them string, and we tried figuring out other ways to lash things together and stack them and intertwine things, and we tried to make our own kind of forts and shelters, and we were going to turn it into a community. The learning that came out of that is when we leave, sometimes other people come along and mess with our stuff when it's outside, which, these kids were really keen on building a fort, which brings me to my idea for the day, something I'm excited about. I have a lot of this PVC pipe, and I have it at like 1/3, 2/3, 3/3 kind of ratio lengths, and I have different kinds of joints that you can just friction fit them together. Now, it's not load-bearing. You won't be climbing these like you would playground equipment, but you can build it. And then, we could discuss what should we cover it with? Should we be able to see through things, or should we just have openings? Should some areas be transparent, translucent, or opaque? 3 words we learned about in our study of science and the study of light. So that's something we can discuss and see what we can create inside. So there's opportunities to explore math, opportunities to explore social studies in the sense of what is a community, opportunities to discuss resources and how people use resources to build their communities, to build their shelters. The other thing that kids thought was interesting was he sold the sunscreen and mosquito repellent combination there for $10 a bottle. And that excited some of our students because they want to be entrepreneurs, I think. So perhaps we'll have another inquiry running alongside this. Some will be studying ways to build a structure here and we'll have to do it inside our class. So we're going to be moving desks to the side, maybe disassembling them, but we've got this big, nice open space there. Don't hit the heat exchanger, air conditioning, fan thing. Don't hit that. But we can build it up pretty tall. And maybe alongside this big structure we could build in here, we could have some entrepreneurs. Maybe they'll set up a shop. Maybe they'll sell it as a real estate agent. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm really excited to find out. Okay, talk long enough. Joke of the day. What did the buffalo say when he dropped his boy off at school? Bye, son. I enjoy telling them more than you enjoy hearing them. So tune in next episode, and perhaps you'll see some new developments springing up in the middle of my classroom floor. Take care.